Well, welcome to another Let's Talk. Wow. Man, it seemed like these 30 days come by so fast. Seemed like we were just together, Dr. Wilson. And
Yeah.
of course, we are excited. Listen, as I say every time we get on, you have been a jewel to the St. Paul Church of Jacksonville. And we thank God for Bishop Gunn's vision to have this talk show, this platform of Let's Talk, and to really dig deep into the mental health. And the way you have brought it across the board has been phenomenal, and it fits everyone. That's the great thing about it. It fits everyone and it gets everyone to thinking. And tonight's topic, successful vacation. You've had some wonderful topics. I am waiting to hear about this successful vacation because I haven't taken my vacation this year. So I need you to help me. I need you,
Gladly.
Dr. Wilson. When I take my vacation, I need to be able to look at my notes tonight and be able to plan it out and enjoy it and have a successful vacation. So, Dr. Wilson, so good to see you. Thank you so much for
having me.
Every fourth Tuesday, and I'm going to go and move on out the way to allow you to share with us on tonight. So, thank you. God bless you. Let's talk.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And it's another version of Let's Talk. And I figure while we're in the middle of summer, let's come, and this is technically our vacation time. The kids are out of school and a lot of times, and it's nice and the weather is great. And so this is a lot of times that we're wanting to take a vacation. So I know some people are saying, well, Dr. Wilson, we're in the middle of a pandemic. How are we going to take vacations? Well, we're going to cover that. And the importance of taking a vacation. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Because I have a PowerPoint for you. Okay. All right. I hope everybody can see my screen. And so we're going to talk about packing your bags and let's take a vacation, and the importance of taking those vacays, because there is a science behind it. And it is a very important part of our self-care. Because I know you're saying, well, why would a licensed mental health counselor be talking about vacation? Well, there is a science to it. And it's also part of what we call, that I know everybody has heard of, life balance. Okay, so one of the importance of taking a vacation is that people in the United States, we kind of thrive on working more hours. It's almost like, hey, if you're valuable if you work more hours and take less time off. You're almost seen as the valuable employee. And it's almost a gimme, like, and then definitely during the pandemic, when a lot of people were working from home, we had a tendency to work more hours. And at that particular time, we didn't have a chance to go on our regular vacations that we normally would go on, or that we knew of. And then but it also brings on a various of mental and physical health challenge. And when work is overwhelming and your work life is off balance, that's probably a time you should say, should I go on vacation? But we have what we call vacation blockers. Now, I can tell you, I've heard every last one of these. I've been in the counseling field for 24 years. And I can tell you that a lot of times when people come to me and they're just stressed out, these are a lot of things that a lot of the blockers that people would talk about. So one of the things is is that we have to remember that taking a vacation offers many health benefits, but there are some factors that we have, and it's in our thoughts, that prevents us from taking a break. So one of the things is we have a fear of returning to a mountain of work. Oh my gosh, if I take off now, oh my God, the things that I have to face when I get back, and the phone calls and the emails, I'm not going to be able to get through all of that. The other thing is fear of being seen as replaceable. We feel that if we leave and we're not going to be looked as valuable because I took some time off and I went on a vacation, And I'm afraid if I come back and somebody looks better or shine better than me, that I'm going to be replaced. We want to show job dedication, but we also have to remember these are businesses, and we can show a lot of dedication. But if I'm wore out, tore down, you know, and I can't even do the job in itself, it's only a matter of time where I would be, because I'm so burnt out and so stressed out that if I can't do the job, they will find somebody to replace me in a minute. Okay. And I always say you can't take those jobs with you, right? Company culture discourage vacation. So some companies, they were just like, they make it very difficult for you to want to take vacation. It may be a supervisor, it may be a VP, it might be the owner of the company by itself to say, hey, wait a minute, if you taking off, if you take off on vacation, you looked at the bad employee. Inability to disconnect. So, we are constantly, we are constantly connected to our jobs. And granted, we spend a lot of time, a lot of hours of our day and our time, dedicated to work. However, sometimes even after hours, we're still on the phone. We're still answering text messages or emails, or we just have a hard time being able to disconnect from the job and get involved in my own personal life. There might be, lean staffing, and not enough staffing, not enough people or coworkers. And so it makes it hard for me to say, I don't know, we're kind of short staffed, this month. And I don't know if this is a good time for me to take a vacation. Or, some of us will fear that taking a vacation will make them appear to be less committed than coworkers. Well, I don't want to, if I leave, all that work that's going to be piling on my coworkers, they're going to have to take my slack, but sometimes we don't think about, well, when coworkers are out or they're sick, that you take some of their slack. And there is definitely a health benefit of taking a vacation. Now, like I said, those blockers, I've heard all of those excuses before. And we don't really talk about the health benefits of taking a vacation, but I want to educate you guys on that. It does improve your physical health. It helps with being able to burn off a lot of the stress cortisone, or the stress hormone that we build up. And so it does improve our physical health, our heart rate, our hypertension, high blood pressure. Taking a vacation every 2 years compared to every 6 will actually lessen the risk of coronary heart disease or heart attacks. It also will improve your mental health. So when you take a vacation, you have feelings of calm arrive, and we can relieve stress. Again, being able to burn off some of those stress hormones, which allows the body and mind to heal in ways that it couldn't if it was still under pressure. It being able just to take in a different environment, being able just to be able to calm and not having that pressure that we're at work. It does give us a greater well-being, so one study found that 3 days after vacation, people's physical complaint and quality of sleep and mood had improved compared to before vacation. So even 3 days after vacation, so it's like that residual effect. And also increased mental motivation. So a lot of people who came back from vacation are more focused and productive. So where we think that we have to stay at the job constantly all the time, that I can be productive, it actually becomes counterproductive. And taking vacation makes us more focused and more productive. And we can concentrate a lot more. Taking time off is like getting a tune-up for the brain. It improves your mental health and cognition. So you come in with a very clear mind. It also improves family relationship, because if I'm putting all of my time and energy into my work, what am I doing on my personal life? and even friend relationships. So being able to take that time out and have some time with my loved ones, it helps keep the relationship very strong and just enjoying life. And it also creates new memories for couples, so that we're not just doing the same old thing. I mean, to the point where our life becomes a checklist. Yeah, I went to work, I came home, we ate dinner, we watched TV, we go to bed, we get up in the morning. And so it creates so that we're not having that checklist life, and we've been able to create new memories as a couple, and that keeps our relationship strong. There was a study by Arizona Department of Health and Human Services that found that women who took vacations were even more satisfied with their marriages. It also boosts happiness. So research showed that planning a vacation, just planning it, just thinking about, wow, we getting ready to go to blah, 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 and that can boost your happiness. And some people experience an elevated mood up to 8 weeks before the trip. I know this year because me and my mom, we both got vaccinated, and she lives in North Carolina. And one of the things I said, well, why, since we're both vaccinated, why don't I go and we'll spend some time for your birthday? And so for Juneteenth, we actually went up to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, and we found a Black-owned bed and breakfast. And just talking about and planning the trip, we found Juneteenth celebrations all around the city. They had an art festival around the Durham and Raleigh area. And so just talking about it and planning it out and finding different things to do. She was really, we both were really excited because this was something that was very different, something we haven't had a chance to do, especially during the pandemic when we're not able to do as much. And so it did make it boost us up, and the happiness and getting prepared for it. When you take time away from the stresses of work and daily life, it can improve our physical and our mental motivation, relationship, job performance, and perspective. It gives us a different perspective of life. A vacation can help you feel refreshed and more prepared to handle whatever comes when you return. So that doom when we come back and say, oh my gosh, the pile of work that's going to be waiting for me. It gives you a clarity and being able to problem solve and and you feel more motivated and energized to be able to handle it. It also decreased burnout. And I think a lot of times we push and push and push so much that not only do we have workplace stress, but we get beyond that and start burning out on these jobs. So employees who take regular time to relax are less likely to experience burnout, making them more creative and productive and than their overworked and underrested counterparts. I'm going to just pause, let that just settle. Okay. Because if you're burned out, that's beyond stress. That's when you start, it's like stress and depression all roll into one, and you're just not really good for anybody. I mean, literally, if you can get out of bed, that's a task in itself. Another way to manage burnout is through the oxygen mask rule. So this is the rule that says secure your mask before assisting others. So in other words, before you address your mental, your physical, and spiritual needs. Let me say that again. Ooh, that was good. Address your mental, physical, and spiritual needs before committing to responsibility, benefiting others outside your immediate family. So in other words, put yourself first before the job. Not saying that your job is not important, but secure you. You take care of you before trying to take care of somebody's, I want to say before somebody's business, okay? Or before that job. Okay, so I know we said, hey, Dr. Wilson, we're in the middle of COVID-19 and it's also increasing. And so how do you prepare for a stress-free vacation during this pandemic? Because it's not like the pandemic went away. But the one thing to do is to do your research. There's a lot of anxiety. Anxiety about the COVID-19 is also have a lot of uncertainties. So it's like, well, how safe is it to fly on an airplane? Can you get sick if you stay in a hotel? What sort of masks are likely to prevent infection? So one of the things is that you want to be able to seek out reliable scientific sources, reliable, that can help you make decisions regarding travel, like the CDC, the World Health Organization, and your local health department. So if you're going to fly, because each state is doing their own, managing their own COVID-19 protocol, so you want to be able to, just kind of read wherever you're heading, just kind of get an idea of what kind of COVID-19 practices are in place. So, in other words, when we were getting ready to go up to Durham to the bed and breakfast, one of the things was that we read about what were some of the what were their protocols. So we know that when we arrived, and what some of the things that they were doing to keep us safe as well. And so when we arrived, we knew that we had to wear masks, and that we knew that even though they had their cafeteria was open, all the tables were spread out 6 feet, and there was only 4 tables in their cafeteria. So we knew the things that they had in place, prior to us going. Same thing if I'm going to fly on an airplane, what's the protocol? Because sometimes they may require you to show that you've been vaccinated, depending on where you're going. Take precautions. So after you get the right information, not from Joe Blow or um, from I don't hate to say this, but from social media, because things may have changed since they've been there. Different protocols may have start coming into place since they have been there, since the virus is now spiking back up again. So you want to just check and make sure that you get the right information and do what you can to mitigate the risk you'll be taking. You want to make sure you just don't go overboard. So you don't want to prepare too much, and that will have a negative effect because that make you anxious. So you're so focused on, yeah, we want to be safe, but we don't want to prepare so much that we're making ourselves anxious. So it's important to be mindful of excessive behaviors. In other words, we don't want to every 5 minutes we're washing hands, or we use the hand sanitizers, or we putting hand sanitizers on our children every 5-10 minutes, or no, you can't go over there. No, you can't touch that. So you want to be mindful of those excessive behaviors. And instead be mindful of the expert recommendations. And in other words, yeah, I'm going to be washing my hands, but I'm not going to be washing my hands every 5 minutes, because that makes you anxious. And just thinking about, oh my gosh, if I'm going to get what about the COVID-19 constantly, that will make you anxious as well, and you won't be able to enjoy your vacation. You also want to be kind to yourself. One of the unique aspects of COVID-19 is that a lot of people are struggling with the same issues all at once. So we're all in this together, all over the world. So rather than asking yourself, how do I stop feeling anxious? You want to be able to acknowledge that your emotions are not that unusual, and there's no need for judgment. So if you are feeling a little anxious about it, you want to be able to, I'm not going to fight my emotions, but I wanted to just acknowledge that, yeah, I'm feeling anxious. And what are some things I'm doing in steps to help me be able to reduce my anxiety? You also want to know your triggers, before you go. So before you travel, take a moment to think about what you're dreading the most. Is it getting on a train? Is it sitting on a plane? Usually anxiety is anticipatory. So it's like our own fake news that hasn't even happened yet. But it's in my head. And so I'm anticipating that the worst case scenario is going to happen. And I don't give myself a chance to think about, well, what's the best case scenario that could happen? So some things we just had some anxiety over anyways, and has nothing to do with COVID-19. So some people have a hard time being on a plane or a train or sitting in a car for numerous hours. So but those are usually again, they're very anticipatory. It's your own fake news because it's not something um, that has been real or reality for you. Once you identify what makes you sweat, prepare some techniques that will make the hardest part of the journey more bearable. So that might be if you have difficulty being on a plane. Some people don't like that takeoff and landing part. You might want to bring some of your calming music, or being able to do some breathing technique, or doing prayer, to just kind of make that the hardest part of the journey more bearable. If it's in the train, you might want to put together your favorite playlist. Um, Nowadays on trains and planes, you can play your movies, and you so you can be able to have more entertainment. It's a good way to just kind of distract what are anxious about. You also want to ignore social media before you go on a trip, because social media can be full of travel shaming. You know, so sometimes we will take a country and we will look at the worst thing that can possibly happen there. Probably like Dominican Republic may have been the one that came to mind for me, and they talked about people being kidnapped. Um, and how it was dangerous, going to the DR. And, it almost made it sound like, well, that's all that they doing in the whole island, is that they're kidnapping tourists. Whereas that was just one or maybe two incidents that we are aware of. Once you make the decision to travel, sometimes it's good to just kind of steer clear of social media, because we just don't know um, what information. They may take one aspect um, of a news story and just blow it up. And it kind of remind me when we had that storm, not Elsa, but the one a couple of years ago, Irma, when we had Irma, and we had all the flooding in Jacksonville. When my uncle called me in a panic, he's in Connecticut. He called me in a panic. He was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." He said, "Well, I heard you're under flood. That like Jacksonville, the whole Jacksonville area is underwater." And I was like, "No, only in certain areas it's underwater." So social media can be, just like that. It can be full of travel shaming. Be very intentional in choosing information that is science based, and not, because unvalidated information can only fuel unnecessary anxiety. And then trust yourself and be able to just let go and have a good time. Once you make that informed decision, it's time to stop the internal agony. Trust yourself to know what you know, and that you weigh out the pros and cons. And once you make that choice, it is your choice, and you can be okay with that. And that means relinquishing what you can't control. While you can wear a mask, flying on a plane means that you're going to be in a small place with other people that cannot control. But I can wear my mask. I do know that you have to, in some flights, you have to show that you've been vaccinated, so that I know that everybody on board hopefully are vaccinated. And we can look at what we can control and what we can't. And I think nowadays you can pick and choose your own seats on an airline as well, or even on a train you can pick and choose as well. You again research ahead of time. One of the best ways to ensure relaxation is to do your research beforehand. Stay up to date on government travel guidelines. They will help you keep things running smoothly and assure safe travel for everyone. Research which destinations are open for travelers, and make sure the activities that you're looking forward to at your destination are available, because nobody wants to go to a destination and they say, "Oh no, you can't do that," and we didn't research ahead of time. Find out before you go if you need to make a reservation, because some places may not take the crowd that they would usually take, and so they may take a smaller crowd, and you may need that reservation. And also be flexible. So this may be the most important tip of 2021. Take advantage of the new flexible policies at airlines and hotels to set your mind at ease. You may not, things may not be as usual as we know when you travel, but we have to be flexible with the change. And staying flexible, given new airlines and hotel policy, and eliminating change fees will make life easier and less stressful. And then, do nothing. Like, really, don't do anything. To ease that, it's easy to feel the pressure when you see and do everything, but when you visit somewhere new, that doesn't make for a very relaxing trip. So if I want to plan every second and every time and every hour on my trip, now we're creating another new pressure. And so I know some people are planners, and they like to plan their trip and know what they're doing. But, take some time aside where you can be flexible. And whether it's an afternoon or a whole day, just not making any plans, be spontaneous, enjoy a walk, spend time at a park, just have a lazy morning, just be lazy, enjoy your vacation, and set that time aside where you're not pressured to do, like you have a whole agenda, and your agenda is so packed and full that you're creating another aspect of stress. Set that time aside and just do nothing. you know Edit your phone to unplug. Your trip's supposed to be a vacation. Make sure that it actually is. Sometimes, when we talked about earlier, it's hard to disconnect. It could be tempted while you're on the road or while you're on the train, to check your email, see if anybody called, if your supervisor called. Sometimes it's tempting, but you might want to just turn off messaging apps and your email and notification from work, your laptop, and all of those things, because it makes it more difficult to relax. You're back on work mode. Another social media can be another stress, so even when you're not traveling. So you can imagine what it could be like when you are traveling. So download one of the many apps that will automatically limit your time on social platforms so that you're there. You can be present. I think we get so plugged into our phones that we don't get to enjoy what's around us, the beauty that's around us. And so, I say use your cell phone for taking pictures, making videos, capturing those moments of your trip and just being able to relax. So for some people, it's like, well, I don't have that option to go on vacation. Hey, no worries. You can have a super staycation. And so you can still, even if things start shutting back down, or even things, if you're not comfortable with going out of town or going around, hey, you can still take a staycation, take that time out for yourself. Again, turn off the phone, even though you're at home. Turn your phone off. I mean, it sounds obvious, but the point of a staycation is to have a vacation. And so the point of a vacation is to get away from the demands of your regular life. And to be able to truly do that is you need to stop being on call, because they say, oh, well, they're still at home and they didn't go anywhere. And so people will start calling you and then you're right back in work mode. So set your phone to go straight to voicemail. You can check your messages each night if you want to, or decide who you want to call back. But it's a good idea to tell everybody that you won't be around for a week and just take a break. And while you're at it, you can put your mail on hold if you like, and any other similar steps that you would normally take if you go on a traditional vacation. Why many people make the mistake of taking work with them when they go on vacation, a strategy that tends to sabotage the relaxing element of a trip, is even more important to avoid being available at work even when you're on a staycation. So, I'm going to put that computer aside. I'm not going to touch it until I am, checking back in. And again, it may be more tempting to check in at work while you're at home and that you feel more entitled that you're being request of it. But that's all the more reason why the computer to stay off so that you can truly have a very relaxing and nice staycation. And while you're on staycation, try something new. Again, we're creating some new memories so you can play hometown tourist and enjoy the fun things that your city or surrounding areas have to offer. Hey, normally if you work during the day, we don't get to enjoy some of the things that might be going on during the day or what they have at the park or um, some of the activities that they have most that goes on during the morning and afternoon. So being able to tap into that or even the surrounding areas. And so we're kind of lucky we have some beautiful areas around us. Bernardino Beach, we have St. Augustine, we have Amelia Island, we have Savannah. So we have some nice surrounding areas that might have to offer which you might not normally go out of your way to experience. And so you may want to just take something, so you're taking that staycation and you're actually trying some new things. Make it worth your while. And the added benefit of going to the touristy place in your area is that you can pass by these places after your staycation is over and your fond memories will be triggered and you can relive that fun. So even if it's like, hey, you know what? I haven't been to Hannah Park down in Mayport Beach and wow, I'm going to go down there and just enjoy myself, or down to Jacksonville Beach or down to St. Augustine Beach, things like that. And so afterwards, you can say, wow, that was a really great time. And I might want to take some time out during the weekend and go back down there. And you don't want to overbook yourself. So sometimes being at home, we may start again overdoing and we indulge in that fun. But, remember, just like it on your vacation, you want to schedule some time when you have some downtime just to read, relax, sleep, chill, binge watch movies, do all the things that people really like to do on traditional vacation. Go check out a new restaurant, things of that nature. And don't be afraid to splurge. Now, I can see some people might be a little like, please don't talk about that. Don't be afraid to splurge. Just like anything else, we want to have a financial goal toward our vacation. And so we're putting away some funds so that we can be, we can splurge a little, So, and with the staycation, because you're saving money by staying close to home, you can eat out meals or splurge in other areas, just like you would do on a traditional vacation. So if you want to go on a brunch, get a massage, go shopping, or even hire a cleaning service to come if you don't already have one, you get maid service in the hotel, right? So you should be able to guiltlessly do so, if you can afford to. Now, if you don't have the funds, please don't splurge outside your savings, because you do have to go back to your life, and you don't want to look and say, oh my gosh, I got a bill and can't pay for it. So I want to be able to talk about some resources that are out there that you can tap into to make, to help, kind of plan your vacation. Some people, they like to take control and plan their own vacation. So here's some travel sites. You have Expedia. Now, I'm going to tell you about Expedia, which I did not know, but they have a tab called Things to Do. And I saw it and not really see it. I was so busy booking my airlines or my hotel with Expedia and did not pay any attention to the Things to Do tab. So one day by fluke, I was going to Atlanta, and it was I was going with a friend. It was his business trip. And so we were going to, we were dating at the time, and we were going to spend an extra day just to do Atlanta, just to have fun. Um, and so that's how I found the things to do tab. And so on there, because I was like, well, what are some things that we can do in Atlanta for our free day? They have all kind of tours that you can set up anywhere. You just put in the city, the state, or even the country, wherever you're going. They have tourist spots all over the world, and you can pay for it through Expedia, and they get all your tickets. So in our case, we took about not the whole day, but we took for a 5 hour tour, and we went on the Civil Rights Museum, the Apex Museum in lunch, and all one cost. And they also pick you up from the hotel. So we had a driver to pick us up from the hotel and exactly the time. And they said they were going to be there. They were there. It was per your party. So it wasn't like it was a bunch of people on the van. It was how many people that was in your party. That's how many people they picked up. And so they took us to the museums. We had a choice, and the cost included the entry to the museums. So they paid for everything, and $14 each for our lunch at the restaurant. So included a meal, which I thought. And so I had been using Expedia Things to Do tab since then. I believe Travelocity also has that as well. There's AARP that has some wonderful vacation. Priceline, Kayak. Now Amtrak has train vacations. So you actually get you can get your train, your hotel to whatever destination that you're going to be going to, and they have like a whole itinerary for you. And so they have what we call rail vacation packages. If you don't want to go out and spend overnight, they also have what we call day rail vacation. So you can take, it's a day trip. And so you take the train to wherever little town that they're going to. You go on a little tour. You get off the train. You go on a little tour. You get back on the train, and you go back home. So they have that as well. And some of them are in like there's one in Fort Myers where it's a mystery train ride, and it is hilarious. I went on it twice, and so it's nothing scary. And they had the actors while you're on the train. You have dinner, and the actors come to your train, to your car, and they acting out who and you're looking at for the clues and things of that nature. And then you come on back, and so it's about 6 hours, but it's a lot of fun, and you can also get a hotel with that. Trivago is very good, and then Groupon has their own vacations. So don't sleep on Groupon, but they have their own vacation, and some vacations include airline in their tours. And then you have like travel agencies. So if you just like, I'm not sure if I want to plan it, but I can just call a travel agent. You may have a friend that has a travel agency business. I know that's on the uprise. Urban Event Global is a Black-owned travel agency, and they connect with like a lot of African American experiences and culture festivals and things that are out there. And so that's a good travel agency. And Pack Up and Go. Now, Pack Up and Go, you have to have a lot of, you got to be willing for adventure. So basically what they do is they create your own itinerary. So you fill out a survey about what kind of vacation you want to do. If you want something outdoors, if you want something adventurous, but you fill out your survey, and then you tell them what your budget is, and they put together your itinerary. Even if you want to do a staycation, they will even create your own staycation. And basically, you don't know where you're going or what you're going to be doing until you get your package in the mail, and then you have to get ready to pack up and go, because they say by the time you get your package, they may say, hey, okay, tomorrow or on Saturday, this is where you're going. And so they create, and so it's a kind of an element of surprise. But you kind of let them know what kind of things that you like to do, events and activities you like to do. For solo travelers, there's Encounter Travel or youtravel.me. And so these are for people, because that has been on the uprise, where people are not traveling with groups anymore, but people are maybe just travel by themselves. With Encounter Travel, what happens is they put together your agenda of what you want to do. You may like, if you like museums, if you like to go out and go to the beach, whatever the case may be. And it just happens that there may be some other solo travelers that may be in this around the same time and place. So if you may have like 2 or 3 people who are solo travelers, may all end up going to the beach at the same time. And so it's kind of like you meeting new friends, and it's encounter. And so you may say, well, hey, I have time. I'm going to the museum, or I'm going to this restaurant at 5:00. Well, there may be some other solo travelers, and what they'll do is they'll connect you and say, hey, all of you guys could go at the same time, because you just happen to plan it that way. Boss Magazine is all about different travel agencies that you can kind of tap into. And so it's a e-magazine only, and they talk about travel tips and styles and things that are going on, and again, just different travel agencies that you may want that's hosting this or these events or ski trips and things of that nature. And that is the end of my presentation. So I hope you guys get a lot out of that. And
Dr. Wilson, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's amazing how you can kind of go into thinking about what the topic is going to really be focusing on. But until you begin to share, it's amazing. I do want to say, we do want to apologize, Dr. Wilson. Not sure what happened tonight with your presentation being up where everyone can see it. But if you can email that to me, I'm sure Ray and I can get it up on the website, and then persons can pull it off of the website, and we can also create some type of link to put into the comments so people can always pull it up. Okay. But just the approach, I want to say this before we dismiss for the night, just the approach, because I think in COVID, in this season, people have kind of just resolved to the fact that they cannot take that vacation they need. And most of the time when we have vacation time, we really do need the vacation time.
Absolutely.
But the way you've shared tonight really requires us to first just plan it out. Mm-hmm. In this season, it's not this is not the norm where we can, jump on a plane or a train or jump in our car and just travel to a destination and then get out and just have all of the fun that we've been having or we've had in the past or getting the rest. It really requires us to really do that homework, really look at all of the protocols for every part of that trip, and then make sure, one, that we're comfortable with them. And then 2, just integrate them within that time so it doesn't become draining. It doesn't become scary and frightful. It doesn't create anxiety and all of those emotions that the unknown could bring. Right. So really, just your approach has, I think, made all of us a little more comfortable to be able to know that I can really have a very relaxing and enjoying vacation. And then if I have to do a staycation, just finding that area here in my house or something like that, or nearby that I can go to and do some things. So we definitely appreciate you, because it is needed. And after a long 2020, And now
Yes.
we're on this uptick with the Delta variants. Where do we really go?
Right.
Where do we really go? The pandemic itself has caused a lot of anxiety in people.
Absolutely.
And where we would normally have that vacation time, it's like, do I take it? I need something. You know, I've been in the house for 18 months. You know,
Hey, even if you're doing, even if you're doing camping outside your own backyard, I mean, doing something is better than nothing. And it may not be your norm of what you're used to, but hey, you need that break. We need that work. We have to have that balance in life, because if not, we're putting so much into, working, that how do you kind of, there's nothing left, and that creates a lot of stress. And it causes, problems with your relationship too, because it's like you're putting all your energy into one area and then you're forgetting about you got a personal life, and being able to unplug.
So we definitely thank you. And for those of you who are viewing, if you know someone that is preparing to go on a vacation, or if you're planning to go on a vacation, or someone is saying, listen, I need a vacation. I need to take a break. The gift that you need to give your friends is you need to send them this link and share this with them, because the information that Dr. Wilson has shared tonight is valuable to your friend. So do that tonight. Dr. Wilson, as always, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
God, thank you very much. And we look forward to next month.
Yes. Thank you.
To next month. To all of you, thank you all so very much for getting on Let's Talk tonight. God bless you. We love you. We'll be talking next month. Take care.
Bye.